Hello and welcome back to the bindery. You are so welcome with me here today to have a look through this lapbook that I've got up in my Etsy shop. A few people have asked for a flip through video so they can see a bit more closely what's in there. It's ages since I made this, so I'm kind of quite excited to have a look through it myself. So here it is. So you can get a sense of the scale by my hand. It is a chunky beast, as befits a lapbook. It's made out of matte board with use of some cloth to strengthen the hinges and places where it folds. And basically, as you can see, it divides into two halves. It's covered in this lovely retro cloth, and it's held shut by a closure with just a simple elastic closure with a vintage button on it. And on the front it's got a pocket made from a sari scrap with a crocheted flower added to it, and there's a little journal card just tucked in there. And it opens with such a sense of ta-da, because it opens both ways. I love it. So you've got one, and you get a peek of what's inside and all the lovely toning colours. And then you've got second. So we'll go through it from left to right. So as you can see, it's lined inside with the same retro cloth. And at the top here, there's a sort of slip-in pocket, which, if you can see, it's been backed. I'll try not to get the shine. It's been backed with the bit of photo that was taken out when I made the frame. So at the moment, it's just got a flash card and a vintage cigarette card in it. But obviously, you could put what you want in there. Underneath that, we've got... I hate this word, but I'm going to have to say it. We've got a pocket with a gusset. I know, it's not good. It's closed with this sparkly wraparound thing round two more vintage buttons. And inside the pocket with a G, which you can just see there, there are a load of bits and pieces. I think they're mostly writing spots for use with the junk journal and the other bits. So they're embellished writing spots, more sari scraps, and this is tea-dyed paper. Some of them have got prompts for your journaling. That one's a bit of tea-dyed index card, so it's a bit more substantial. More sari trim on the decorations. This is one of my eccentric embellished envelopes, which has got another flash card tucked inside. Another bit of journaling card. Another envelope. Isn't that a great critter? I'm a member of the, what's it called? The Wildlife Trust, so I get this magazine with amazing critters in it. So, as you'll gather from the critters and from other things, there's a kind of loose theme to it of outside, nature, countryside. So it could be used as a sort of guide, a record, a journal for your travels, your walks, or your journaling for inside, but it's not so in your face that it has to be that. And obviously once you've used the writing spots, that can be used for anything. So the next segment is a series of pockets which flap up and away, or envelopes really. So this is another one of my eccentric envelopes, which this one was actually made with a photo envelope from the 70s. You know, in the olden days when you used to get your photos developed and it was all very exciting waiting for them to come back. So that's what this rather lovely paper is, and that's got a vintage photo and another flash card in. So that flaps out. This one flaps up. It's got some sari trim and this is a bit of a from a book about the Yorkshire Dales. So, and we've got a very long writing spot tucked in there. And then that one flaps up. And this one, which is the one that's actually attached to the backboard of the book, opens this way, and at the moment it's got some bits of handmade snippet roll, some bit of which has been embossed, and it's got some bits of all sorts of papers in it. It's quite, you have to be quite gentle with this because it's vellum and it's see-through, so you have to kind of sort of go in carefully, but it is perfectly accessible. So attached next is the first of the two journals that's in here. Now this amazing cloth on the cover of this one and the other one is genuine 1950s bark cloth, and it's actually what inspired the whole thing because I just loved the colours and the whole palette. It feels really me. So this first one is a small soft cover junk journal which has been washi tape on my hand, which has been embellished with some rip-rack and sari trim. It's got a pocket with a journaling card on the inside cover, and it's very much nature themed, so we've got more from that nature magazine, some lovely images, so it's very basic, it's not decorated at all inside, but it's got all that room for you to work in, and of course it can be removed, so if you want to carry on using the lapbook once this journal's finished, you just take it out and put in another one. So the elastics are a bit like a TN. Which means that on the other side we have the second book journal in here, which again is attached by elastic. It's closed with this gorgeous coloured sari ribbon. This has got another pocket with another journaling card, and this one has a fold of vintage ledger attached, so there's quite a lot of writing space there. And this has been filled with some tea-dyed upcycled paper, squared and lined. So again, that's there for you to use, and when you're done, you can put another journal in there. So the next section, I really love this picture. The next section is a sort of lift up frame to start off with. So at the moment I've just tucked this gorgeous vintage photo inside it. And this has been collaged and had decorative stitching on it. It's got vintage wallpaper, vintage stamps, bit of vintage sewing pattern, some more crochet. And this flaps out, and there's a pocket there which has got another one of my envelopes in. That's pocket's just a short one on the sort of back of this section. You couldn't see that, could you? Try again. Yeah, this pocket here. So this whole section has a little tuck spot there in which we've got couple of journaling or cards. They're really nice handmade paper, so you could draw on them as well, and a piece of tea-dyed paper. So that all lives in there. And this bit, I love this bit, very excited. This bit lifts up and out and down, so you've got the other half of this image with writing space in between it. More writing space here. That's some lovely vintage kitchen wallpaper. And on the back, another writing spot with some lines that have been made with sewing. And then behind that, we've got another transparent pocket. This is quite delicate, so you have to be careful getting it in and out. I've made it with some upcycled kind of see-through plastic. I don't know what you call it. It's not vellum, but because it's upcycled, it's quite fragile. So you have to just sort of gently glide things in and out. So that's why I put this load of scraps into a little pocket, so it's easy to pull. So we've got some eco-dyed paper, some hand-dyed vintage ledger, and just some bits and pieces of scraps, vintage book papers, paper that I've used in the journal. And all that can be used to work in the junk journal. So that lives in there. And then finally on the back panel, we've got a large pocket made out of this lovely vintage lace. And in that I've just made a, I guess, kind of sort of clipboard thing, but it's got a little pad of scraps of paper which tone with the lapbook and can be used for junk journaling. But obviously when that's done with, you could fit other things in there. So it's designed to be a not just something that's used one and done. Lots of bits of it are replaceable. And it was a true labour of love. I really want to charge about £1,000 for it because it took so long, but obviously I can't. But yeah, it's an item I spent many, many hours making and treasuring. And I hope it finds a good home. Thank you very much for being here for this video. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.